Hey guys, it's Adam here, and I've been selling on Amazon for 6 years, and I've done over £6 million in sales since starting, right? And here are some of the biggest mistakes that I've ever made, right? And here's how you can avoid them. I'm going to be telling you pretty much all of them. I've written 7 down here, some of the 7 biggest mistakes which have lost me tens of thousands of pounds, some of them, so that you can avoid them as much as you possibly can. So you may make some of these, but it'll help you mitigate them, obviously. But yeah, like I said, I've been doing Amazon for 6 years. We're doing well over £3 million per year in sales. So you're in good hands here, right? So number one, a big mistake this is doing wholesale or arbitrage for so long. So some of you may be watching this at the moment, and you may be doing Amazon FBA at the moment, and you may be doing wholesale or arbitrage. Now, just for reference, I started off doing like that. I started just buying and reselling brands on the Amazon platform, which I didn't own, and I just ran into so many freaking issues, which I'll get onto in a moment. But now, 3.5 years ago, I started to transition, but now we only sell our own brands on the Amazon platform. We own 5 brands on the Amazon platform, which is what enables us to do over £3 million per year, and enables me to live here in Bali here at the moment, okay? So I did wholesale / arbitrage for about 3 years. It got me to a pretty reasonable point, but it's like, you always wish you started sooner, right? I wish I started Amazon FBA sooner, but furthermore, I wish I started out with private label just from the get-go. Who knows where I'd be? Maybe I'd be doing 6 to 7 to 8 million pounds per year right now, okay? So doing arbitrage or wholesale for too long is just going to give you a headache almost, right? I mean, it probably gives you a headache right now. You're buying and reselling. These are the biggest problems. Trust me, I know them inside and out because I've been there, done it, and got the t-shirt, right? So the biggest problems that you're going to have when you're doing arbitrage, Amazon to Amazon, wholesale, all these types of smaller, lower barrier to entry things is you're going to run into things like price wars, right? All the time. You source a product, you send it into Amazon, you think it's going to make you like £5 of profit, but 10 other people or 50 other people have seen the same opportunity, coming in at lower prices. Now you're only going to make £1, or some of you may even be losing money. That's the biggest issue, because you don't own anything, you don't control anything, you're just selling on somebody else's listing. Number 2, it comes down to ownership as well. You sometimes get IP complaints and things like this, which is not good at all. It can lead to your account getting suspended. It can lead to your listing getting deactivated and you losing all of your money on your stock. That never happens with private label, ever, if you do the correct research, right? Number 3, your margin is very, very low. Wholesale, arbitrage sellers, if they're doing it on a larger scale, they end up making 10% margin. Amazon private label, you can be making double, triple, quadruple that sometimes, right? So it's another huge benefit. So you can see the benefits of it are significantly better already. So knowing that, why would you want to continue doing wholesale or arbitrage, right? So it's one of the biggest mistakes that I made in the past, for sure. Because, again, that one's priceless. I can't tell you how much I've lost from doing that, because if I just started out with private label, who knows where I'd be. But I guess it is very, very easy to say that. One caveat is you do need a bit more capital to start with private label, right? So you can't just dive into private label with 1 or 2 grand. You need a little bit more than that. So number 2 mistake that I've made is looking for just enough margin, okay? And this actually falls under the private label side of things now as well, and also back in the day when I did wholesale, not being strict enough with your margin. It is very, very important. If you can see something which is only going to make you a 10% return on your investment, but it's going to sell, do you really want that 10% return on investment? And also, is it actually even going to be 10% return on investment when you take away all of your costs? So you may only be incorporating some of your costs and not all of them. So it's don't be looking for just enough margin, 20% return on investment, or 10% profit margin, or something like gross margin. You can't be doing that anymore. I've had the habit of it in the past, right? And I've got some products like that to this day still as well, and they still do make me money. They make me consistent money, and quite a lot of money actually. But comparing it to some of my other products, right? Comparing it to some of my other products, it's just I'm always stressed about them listings with the lower margin, because I just know that there is less flexibility, significantly less flexibility, right? Because I've come to a lot of my options. Like I don't have a lot of money to spend on ads now, obviously. I can't go down in price anymore. Obviously, the only thing I can do is improve like packaging and how it's presented, which is already done. Like, you know, you start to run out of options. But if you have a lot of margin, suddenly you can just spend more money on ads to get your product moving. Maybe you can lower your price and improve your packaging and improve your marketing. All of them things put together, right? So don't be looking for just enough margin, because there's always going to be hurdles and blocks in the future to which you may need to sacrifice some margin temporarily to sort of grow the brand that little bit further or gain market share that little bit more. So don't just look for just enough margin at all, okay? You know, I think a good healthy one would be to like 30% gross margin, right? Would be pretty healthy for you to think. Number 3, mistake. Number 3 is, you know, I still have the habit of doing this to this day, is being too nice. Being too nice, right? Being too nice, like you don't need to be a dickhead or anything like this, obviously, but like being too nice isn't going to get you anywhere in life. You know, like, so I'll tell you a personal story, right, about the business. So we've got some people, let's just say, in our business, which don't perform too well. And, I mean, bless them, right? I've got nothing against any of them at all. They're very, very nice people, but they're not performing how the team would like them and myself would like them to perform. But not only that, they just can't do that. They can't perform how we want them to perform because they're not fast enough, and they're a little bit older. They just can't get to the speed. Like, it's impossible for them now, like, because they're too old. So we've been like, we've known this and been thinking this for 18 months. But me as a business owner, I'm the one that makes that decision to sort of get rid and stuff like this. And I've been too nice, I guess, to maybe just a little bit freaking scared or whatever. I don't know. But being too freaking nice and just keeping them, that's no benefit to the business at all. Yeah, we just hired since a younger person now, and we've got through that, right? But if I just think, like, if I made that decision 18 months ago, there and then, as soon as I possibly could, like, who knows how much more the business may have made? Who knows what? Because, like, when you start to hire staff members and stuff like this, like, if you hire good ones, they start to come up with ideas for the business, how to make it better and more efficient. Like, who knows, like, what other things may be introduced to the business and how much more efficient, what processes and systems that we may have then. So being too nice ain't going to get you too many places. I mean, and again, like, for example, like, sometimes, like, I used to be like, if an order was delayed or something like this, I would be like, oh, okay, do you know when it's going to be? But now I'm like, sometimes I'm just like a bit ruthless. I'm just like, well, first of all, I ordered this 10 days ago. How come you're only just telling me now, 10 days later, that you've got no stock? This isn't acceptable, and I won't accept this anymore. If this happens ever again, then I'm going to be finding another supplier. Sometimes I'm like that ruthless, like, because I have to be. And some things just aren't on, right? If some things are affecting your business and affecting you making money, I'd never be ashamed. I'd never be hesitant to put it on your supplier a bit or put it on people a bit, because it's like, if they're not doing the fucking job correctly, you need to tell them how frustrated you are with things. Because if they think they can walk all over you, they will walk all over you, and they'll just keep doing it, maybe on a smaller scale, or they may not prioritize you and think you're that important. So if you don't express really how you feel and what you need from people, right? You don't have to be a dickhead here either. Like, you can say this in a very, very nice way. But if somebody's done something wrong, like, you don't need to say it that nice. They've done something wrong, and you need to make them aware that you're not happy about it, right? Because if you don't, like I said, they may do it again. Next mistake is overpaying for things. I've got two, actually. I've got overpaying for things and underpaying for things. Well, I'll do them separately. So, number 1, let's go for overpaying for things. So, my girlfriend very kindly very kindly made me aware of this a few times before. So, overpaying for things, I've done it many, many, many freaking times in the past. And that does come down to another point in what I've written down here. But however, I'll just keep on overpaying for things. Like, it's very easy to sometimes get ripped off, right? It's very easy to get ripped off. There's a lot of people out there that are freaking overcharging for their services by a long shot. So you really, really need to compare as much as possible. So let's say you're hiring a freelancer, for example, and they're trying to charge you like a lot of money, like 5 grand for a website build, right? First of all, I'd be trying to look at like, not just like their work, because everybody shows you their work and it always looks so freaking good, right? But try and look for things like how much money, how much more of a conversion rate have you given this person? How much more money have they made since they've changed this website, and all these types of things, right? This is just an example for a freelancer. Or, for example, you can go ahead and contact loads of different companies or loads of different freelancers. Like you want to be having samples of 30, 40, 50 different people inbound, right? Because if you're only comparing 3 things, okay, and you're just buying there and then on the spot, sometimes you may just end up overpaying, and then that leads to you being like, oh well, this is shit. I've paid 4 grand, 5 grand for this. It's shit, and it's giving me nothing. It's got no fucking value for me. And I've done that a few times, right? I've done that a few times. And then again with courses and stuff like this. Like, for example, if you wanted to, before jumping on a call with me, because anybody watching this video can jump on a call with me and discuss my mentoring with me. Like, if before you got on the call with me and you didn't research me, and you also didn't research like 5 other private label sellers, I'd be a little bit disappointed in you, to be honest, because like, you wouldn't know what to compare it to. You wouldn't know who you're dealing with either. Like, for example, if you got on a call with me and wanted to discuss my mentoring, it might be a little bit expensive, because we're freaking good at what we do, and we're in the top 1% of Amazon sellers. We're doing over £3 million per year. Just today we hit a record day doing over £23,000 in sales in one single day. Like, we're actively doing what we say we do, like we're doing it at a fucking high scale. So it's like, if you want to learn from one of the best, learn from one of the best, and by all means, it's going to be a little bit more, but that doesn't mean it's overpriced at all. You just got to compare it to things that are actually of that certain caliber, right? Because you may well find, again, other things which are significantly cheaper from somebody that's not even selling on Amazon. For example, again, just another example, right? Now, let's get on to underpaying for things. This can be quite bad as well. So I've underpaid for things quite a few times as well, and you do get what you freaking pay for. You really, really do get what you pay for, right? There are certain things that you really do need to pay properly for, and I'd say number one, like, I'm not going to give you a list because I haven't made a list. I've got literally a list of 7 mistakes that I've made in the past. That's it right here in front of me. But like, just things that I can kind of think of is maybe accountants, right? Underpaying for an accountant, trying to cheap out on an accountant. You get what you pay for, right? You really do get what you pay for. So sometimes in certain scenarios, let's say if you needed a lawyer to go ahead and get you, let's say if you wanted if you had a lot of money, you wanted a lawyer to sort of stop you from going to jail or going to prison for maybe you've done something which is edgy or something like this. I don't know. You're going to want the best lawyer you possibly freaking can, and they're not going to be cheap, right? So if you've got a ton of money, you're going to hire the best lawyer you possibly can. So anything which is super important, which is either going to make you a ton of money or save you a ton of money, don't really underpay for things. So for example, me in the past with mentorships, I've paid over 10 grand for a mentorship. I've just recently invested into a mentorship for $7,995, dollars, sorry, as well. Because he's really freaking good, and I've invested in things for like $50 before, and it's been like, I've not learned anything. I've really not learned anything at all. So if something's going to actively give you information, if something's going to actively help you make more money, if something's going to actively help you save more money, as long as you've done the research for things and the person looks good, or something, whatever you're going to look for looks okay, looks really, really good, then I wouldn't underpay. I really, really wouldn't underpay, okay? If you can afford it, go ahead and get what you need. Number 6 falls under what we just spoke about, is rushing into things. This is where some of my biggest mistakes have been made. As a business owner, it can be good. It can be very, very good to be fast-paced, quick action, right? That's me all over, right? But like, sometimes you can't do it too fast, and sometimes I've done it far too fast, right? 2 situations come to my mind which has lost me 15 grand each time, right? In a single freaking month. Number 1 is, I rushed into buying some fake SD cards. The opportunity looked phenomenal, so I just went ahead and bought some fake freaking SD cards. Terrible, 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 terrible decision, right? Terrible decision. You know, they were fake. Amazon deactivated the listing after a few sales. You know, had stock on the way, had stock in the warehouse, had stock in Amazon, all these types of things, and I lost about 15 grand, okay? That's all because I rushed into things look too good to be true, and they freaking were. So also, yeah, that's simple as. Another one was like I needed a piece of machinery for the business, and all I did was research, look at one company. One of the first companies I found, you know, they were okay with communication and stuff like that. I was like, well, we do need the business, we do need the piece of machinery, and you know, I seen it. I was like, wow. You know, it's costing us like 50p per unit to do these products at the moment. You know, if we had this piece of machinery, we'd get the cost down to about 3 to 5p. This is insane. And that sort of emotion kind of took over me. And I was like, wow, this is freaking cool. And I was just got so invested into this one machine. And this lost me about 20 grand to the machine and various different things about it. And also like legal costs and stuff like this so far. You know, we're actually maybe like 25, 30 grand in. To which we've lost and not got a single penny back. So that's all from rushing into something. This is all from rushing into things. In that way, if I just took a week or so, because it was a big decision at the time, over 2 or 3 years ago, spending 20 grand on a piece of machinery was a lot of money, and it's still not a small amount of money to this day, you know. But you know, if I didn't rush into it and I contacted several other companies, I would have known that I would have had to spend £150,000 to actually get a good machine, like a real good machine, which is actually going to do the job to get that cost down. And since then I've invested, and I've invested that amount of money into a piece of machinery. And it's fucking good. And this is where it comes down to underpaying for things and overpaying for things, rushing into things that have some of them linked together, like underpaid for the first machine and rushed into it. Huge mistake, lost a ton of money. Now, the other machine, new piece of machinery that I bought, 150,000, freaking amazing, such a good product. Damn, it stunk. Did it sting? Yeah, damn, it stunk. But, you know, it's saving us a lot of money, and also, I guess, making us a lot of money now. As well, which is cool. Now, finally, things too good to be true, and it kind of relates to what I just spoke about there as well. Like, if something ever seems too good to be true, probably is a lot of the time. So, for example, them SD cards, like that was pretty damn obvious that it's going to be too good to be true. Like, there's no way in hell that would have been, you know, buying SD cards from Alibaba, from China, sending them into the UK, that they were going to be real. Like, honestly, like this guy even gave us like certificates from like because they were SanDisk memory cards. They even give us like reports and stuff on like from SanDisk and stuff apparently, or something like this, which was like obviously all fake. But yeah, that's some of the main mistakes that I've made, and mistakes that you should avoid as well when you're trying to build even just any business, but like let's say an e-commerce business, Amazon or TikTok shop business. They're the main ones. I've got loads and loads of small ones as well, I guess, but they're definitely the main ones. But like, I mean, do I make some of these to this day still? Yeah, probably, but like at least I'm aware of them, and at least they're significantly less. You know, all of these collectively have lost me hundreds of thousands of pounds. You know, but like I know them all now, and they're all hundreds of thousands of pound lessons, which in turn I won't make really in the future ever again. But like these have been integral really for me getting to where I am today. Like, for example, like do I have my phone on me? Like, yeah, we do. I just want to show you the sales that we make, because yesterday we had our record day ever in sales, right? It was so good. So if I go to the past 7 days, yeah, we've done £104,000 in the past, well, that's 6 days. But look, if you can see that, 24 grand, if you can see that, in a single day. No, 23,900, sorry. In one single fucking day, right? So this business is doing over £300,000 per month. Absolutely crazy numbers. I never thought I would get to this point, right? At all. It's super surreal. I'm in Bali at the moment, able to travel around the world, fly my girlfriend out business class and stuff like this, which is it's all amazing, right? And it's all possible through building brands on the Amazon platform. And if you want any help doing that at all, make sure you click the link in the description down below. Either click the link down there and book in a call with me, or have a look through what we have to offer. But ultimately, that's it. Without further ado, let's end this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.